Hey guys, welcome to the JW Untold Truth channel. So we are about to hear from Israel. He is the president of the Association of Victims of the Jehovah's Witnesses in Spain. And we're gonna hear from him just to get to know his background a bit better, and also just to see how the trial is going on in Spain. Just to hear from his own words and explaining a bit more what's going on and how the Jehovah's Witnesses are approaching this and how they are able to answer back to them. And also I just wanted to say as well that this is not just an attack to the ex-JWs in Spain or the victims in Spain. This is an attack to everyone around the world. Everyone, all ex-JWs and all victims of the Jehovah's Witnesses. So we need to support them as well. And also, the following up video, we will be interviewing the lawyer from the Association of Victims and how he is able to approach this trial and see to hear from him anyway. So I just wanted to say thank you so much and stay tuned for the next videos. That will be very interesting too. So thank you so much for all your likes and all your comments, and stay tuned for the next one.
Why did you start this victims organization?
So what help do they give to the victims? This protocol that it says, which is in the book Shepherd of the Flock of God, it is what we call the Book of the Elders, in which the elders govern the congregations, because that book says that if a person wants to commit suicide or if they see something weird, like in the case of my sister, they stop the judicial committee and give her the help of a spiritual person, a married sister or brother with a good reputation. If she can be a pioneer, it is even better, because she does or he does 70 hours per month of preaching, which is what they preach now, and to consider some watchtower portions of any publications. But at no time does the protocol says that they give you mental health help. A psychologist, a psychiatrist, a mental health professional. No, they always want to fix it with spiritual people, even if it is a baker, a window cleaner, a mechanic, people who are not qualified, okay, not professionals at all, of mental health, but only for what they consider to have a very high spirituality that can already be of help to another, considering watchtower publications. Well, during that year, 2015 and 16, I went crazy. That is when I left the Jehovah's Witnesses. I was alone, as it happens to almost all of us when we leave or when we are disfellowshipped. But at the end, you go alone. But at the moment, I began to find people, not just one, two, or three people. No, hundreds and hundreds of people, not only nationally here in Spain, but also internationally, Argentina, Mexico, Salvador, from different Spanish-speaking countries. And at the end, we all had the same issue, suffering. We all suffer the same issue of social death. That is, after being disfellowshipped or that you leave, you stay alone because nobody talks to you, nobody speaks to you because of the protocol. It is not something that they have or they force them at the moment that they disfellowshipped, that you go to this person and you do not talk to him. It is not that. But what happens is that during the decades that you may be in there, you have been learning, reading the protocols in the manuals, because they publish this every month, new informations in the publications, and you have to study them. And as we used to go 3 times per week to the meetings, this is how they get that high mental control, through that continuing attendance at the meetings, that reinforcement to read the publications. And of course, you keep getting involved. And in the end, it seems logical to you what they say, that when you see without knowing why they have this fellowship someone, or that someone directly disappears from a congregation already, that is one thing that they have to stop talking or trying to say hello, even if it's family members. And that day, that person is reinstated again, and they make an announcement in the kingdom hall saying this person is against Jehovah's Witnesses. From there, you can talk to him, treat him, and so on. We have suffered all that. This causes many states of anxiety, depression, that is distressing states. There are people who are not going to recover in their lives. In fact, we have an association here in Spain, which we have now suffered a lawsuit from Jehovah's Witnesses, which we later will talk about. And why we set up this association? Well, there are many people suffering the same thing, suffering the outrages that we have experienced within this organization of the Jehovah's Witnesses. All this has clearly led us to meet more and more people. I'm telling you, since 2016, we started with a project that we call JW Abuse, and since 2019, we registered as an association with the ministry under the name of the Spanish Association of Victims of Jehovah's Witnesses, and that helped many people. They have benefited from, because we are united, we are in a group. We cannot be alone as we have been for decades. Now we are associated thanks to the social networks. The networks have helped a lot because thanks to being in a group, we are already realizing that we have not suffered alone, that we have not been sinners, that we have not done things wrong. On the contrary, that we have woken up, that we have out and stopped this suffering that was harming us, our health, our life, our economy, our jobs, because it affects us being a Jehovah's Witness. It affects us in all parts of our lives.
What do you think is the reason for the lawsuit?
Well, for us, I think they want the association, even as victims, they want us to silence us. So they have filed a lawsuit, but not one lawsuit. They have filed 4 lawsuits. One to the association, another one to Henry, the secretary, another to Gabriel, who takes care of the social media, and another one to me as president. And the idea they have is to silence us. The right to the owner is about what we have lived and what we can tell the public, and also the issue that everything we tell is a lie. I am recounting my experience. For example, look what they've done. I mentioned in my complaint, for example, that we have had this lawsuit for the right to honor. I mentioned a person by name and last name who was the congregation elder that I told him what had happened to me when I was 5 years old, when I was abused, what I had suffered. And the JW, instead of calling him to testify as a witness, they call someone with the same last name, but not the same name. That is, they call a person with the same last name, but it's a completely different person. This is how they deal with us.
How do you feel about this experience of intimidation?
Well, look, the experience is very strange because we did not expect them to take this action because they are just harming themselves. A lot of news has been generated that will show all Spaniards what is going on and what is happening within Jehovah's Witnesses and what kind of people are the Jehovah's Witnesses. We could only dream about generating this much news, but the Jehovah's Witnesses have generated by themselves. That is, they have wasted decades trying not to appear in the news because that is what we were taught. Since I was a little, try not to denounce your brother, try not to be in courts of justice, not to be in media, not to drag Jehovah's name through the mud, or to give a bad witness using the name of Jehovah's Witnesses. They go and sue us for the right to honor, but listen to this. And this is the funniest thing. Do you think that they come with the Jehovah's Witnesses lawyers? They used to have a person here in Spain who was a lawyer. He became a millionaire thanks to all the witnesses going to him. But of course, he was the first to be there to defend the leadership here, the witnesses and the headquarters. But now they have come to sue us with some lawyers who are not witnesses. They are not Jehovah's Witnesses. They are also celebrities, lawyers. but they are celebrity lawyers. You can look for them. They are specialists in the right to honor. Yes, they are professionals in that, but dedicated to celebrities. For example, the Jehovah's Witnesses lawyer defend the famous Lola Florez. For example, they were the first who could defend the right to honor of a person who was already deceased, such as Lola Florez, with her daughters, with Lolita. He defended the woman for her right to honor in front of the televisions, such as Telecinco and many other famous celebrities. That is, they are specialists in that, in the right to honor, but these lawyers are not Jehovah's Witnesses. So for me, it's shocking, shameful, because when I was at Jehovah's Witnesses, we were told that the courts should not be used, much less people who were not professionals, who were not Jehovah's Witnesses. And yet, now it seems that anything goes. They have changed again that protocol that they had. The protocol of not reporting apostates to inform the public of the truth instead. But now it seems that it is possible to denounce the apostates. But of course, the problem comes to them because we have associated. That's what I always recommend to all listeners in any country, to get together, to associate, make it legal. That is not a group of friends to have a coffee from time to time, to have a meeting, so on. No, no, no. Go to the Ministry of Justice, who groups the associations and register. Do it formally. Look, even if you are 3, 4, 20, 50, whoever you are, there will always be one of two who are in this association, but above all, to be grouped. We don't all have to be present. We don't all have to be spokesmen. We don't all have to be something in the association. The simplest person, the most quiet person, that person with whom I'm only a member of that association, that person is supporting us much more than you can imagine, because this person or these people have seen themselves with an association here in Spain. We are 90. I think we already have passed the 90 members. And with 90 members, they have not denounced a person like Antonio Carrera, who said much more serious things than what we are telling you against them. From the leadership of the Jehovah's Witnesses, he attacked them frontally. They never denounced him because he was associated with a large group.
What does your parents think of all of these abuses?
I've been abused. I didn't tell anyone until I was 26, and I didn't tell anyone again until I was 42. Yes, 42, I think I was, and that's when I went to the police to report it. Already with 42, and it's embarrassing to tell these feelings of shame. But then on top of that, we are surrounded by this environment that is going to accuse us, saying, what you're saying is a lie. My own father, and I'm going to tell you this, my own father told me that I was an apostate, yelling with a red face in the middle of the main street here in Madrid, with a red face yelling, you are an apostate. And the other day in 2017, he tells me that, well, all angry with what I'm saying is a lie, that I have never been abused. I'm a mother, says Nino, my father's nickname. What Israel is saying is true. She goes on to say, because that boy came home and I didn't let him in once, because it seemed very strange to me that, well, I don't remember this. And that's what my mother was telling me. And I was looking at my mother saying these things now. What I'm finding out. So she did know something. And she told my father that she had closed the door on him and told him, look, you don't come here anymore to play with such a small child. So the other day, so you can see, I got married in September of this year, right in the month of July. My wife is with my mother and she's telling her, my mother says, I remember what happened to Israel. She says, when I arrived home and I found Israel with the wrong shirt buttoned. Of course, I don't remember those things, but you know what it means for me to tell these things. And it's so difficult. It must be for my mother too. Bit by bit now, without obligation, she has to tell us what she knows and what had happened. You understand? My father was denying it. My father is silent now. My father doesn't say anything anymore. My father knows that their people there in their congregations are very bad, especially those who are leaders. But my father is silent now.
Are there many victims in Spain?
The situations are the ones that I'm telling you. Like thousands of people, I can tell you that in other words, in Spain, I will have spoken with more than 100 people who have been abused. Of course, here in Spain, we do not have the punitive law as happens in the United States. United States, when you present a case, and well, the lawyer will cost you, let's say, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 euros. But after you win the case, you will get a percentage back that will cover all the costs and even a compensation. There was a lawyer who was willing to take my case for 15,000 euros. And then how much will you get back when you win the case? Or how much would you recover if you win the case? After 10 years, well, 7,000, 8,000 euros. That will recover. That is if you don't lose and pay other costs as well.
Who is defending the Association of Victims?
We have been very lucky here because when we met Carlos Bardario, who is the lawyer that is handling our case and will handle others in the future, we will talk about it in another time because Carlos Bardario is a specialist in coercive issues in sects, and in fact, he has already shown in more than one occasion that has been defended in the courts and with success. The last one, for example, that they are still processing and has ended a couple of months ago was that of a cryptocurrency, a sect of cryptocurrency, and there were 40,000 followers affected. He represents a part, but in other words, Carlos Bardario is an eminence. I know that he is going to deal with issues as well in Mexico, Argentina, and even internationally. He has a specific doctorate on this subject. Therefore, a lawyer needs to be a person like that who defends that sort of cases, not a lawyer that defends general complaints, but it has to be a very professional person who knows about sects. And of course, you can go with all the intention in the world and such, but if the lawyer, many times, if he's not a specialist in sects, is not a specialist for these kind of cases.
What has been the experiences given by the JWs in court?
First day of the trial that we had, the Jehovah's Witnesses have said that they've never heard of any suicides in Spain. But a month ago precisely, there was a suicide in Requena, in Valencia. One young person has died by jumping off the bridge at Jehovah's Witnesses not long after they were disfellowshipped. But they don't know nothing about this sort of suicides.
What kind of help do you need?
Yes, there is a way to help. If there are any Spaniards or even if they are abroad who have Spanish nationality, and if it is possible to verify the nationality in some way that they are Spaniards, even if they are foreigners that are living in Spain with dual nationality, you can also become partners. It's okay. The only thing that we require that has to be a Spanish or even a foreigner that has a NIE ID or have the nationality if you're a Spanish or foreigner with NIE. If you're living abroad, you can also become a member, but you have to have the NIE or the Spanish nationality. On our website, Association of Victims of Jehovah's Witnesses.org, you can find it by Googling it. I already have tried just by typing the Association of Jehovah's Witnesses Victims many times, and it already appears in Google. That is already in one of the first positions on Google. There you can see what our objectives are. You can become a member through there too. We also have a section for donations because all this is costing us. It's costing us money and it will cost more because we have bigger projects. The issue is that we are very, very active there, but we need to support of the people. The Jehovah's Witnesses wants to make us disappear. They also say something other than the name of victims of Jehovah's Witnesses. We cannot have it. We have to get rid of it because they have a clear vision that they want to dissuade more people to join our association or to associate. So that's why in Argentina, in Mexico, in Peru, in Colombia, you have to associate. You have to make associations. Associations, it doesn't matter if you are 100, 500. I'm telling you, an association is formed with three people, a president, a secretary, a treasurer. In most countries, you can already form an association with just 3 associates.
How many associates do you have? And how does the finance work?
We have 90 associates. Regarding about money, we had to open an account because, well, you have to pay. You have to pay the lawyer, the attorney, reports. And also we have to submit reports from psychologists, experts, and others. So the use we are making of the money is very fair. In fact, there are also some cases in which we are going to have to spend money and explain to the members. But the issue is when you become a member, in our case, we do not ask for money. We have to put a little button on the website. If you want to make a donation, you do so. But in our objectives as an association, we have decided to put in the statutes that we do not charge a membership fee. And we have achieved a very good effect. But why? Because people are aware that this is not free. Defending our rights is not free. Just to put it out there, these collaborations, you will understand that we want to do something more, and that's why we are going to present a meeting to the partners and to explain every single expenditure. For example, if we go for a trip, we have to pay for a meal. We have to take a picture. And tomorrow, we are going to appear in a news outlet. We are going to buy a car. We are taking my car. We're going to pick several people. And each one of us will pay for the petrol or the gasoline. So we do not use the money from the association. We use our own money. That is, we have to be a little transparent. We have to be very transparent, of course. We have to assume very well that this money is not ours. That money has to be for the victims. We already have more than 90 partners because now when a journalist comes to ask us, how many people do you represent? Well, look, we have hundreds of supporters, but as partners or as associates, as such, we have 90 associates. That is something that we didn't have until a few years ago.
What is the end objective of the Association of Victims?
I'm telling you, not with the idea of making them disappear or to be destroyed. No. What we want is for them to respect the law, for them to respect that we are in the 21st century, that they cannot have a medieval protocols. They have to stop all this black guilty with what they are doing with these judicial committees. I now compare them with the issue of the courts of honor, judicial meetings. These courts of honor have been prohibited in Spain for a long time. And these judicial committees or hearing judicial provinces or what they call it now, ecclesiastical committees, they are trying to make it sound more normal, like if it's just an ideology. Right. No, that is not right. That's like the court of honor. They get into the most intimate area and they execute you socially. That is if they stab you from the back with a big sword or cut your head off. They kill you while you're alive. That is the end. They have to make changes and they have to make them okay for everyone. It's not like Russia. They are just inculcating fear to all the followers, saying that Spain's going to become Russia and if we don't protect our honor. No, Spain is not like Russia. Spain is a country with a constitution, with a justice that dates back to the 1800s. Something that we have the best laws in the world. Here is the right place to defend freedom. the best place to defend it. And I think it's one of the best countries to defend the right to freedom, the freedom of expression, the freedom of action. It is worth that you can have the religion that you want too. But of course, they think that they put those ideas and it will arrive here. Of course, it happens again. They scare them again with Armageddon that will come again, and it's already here. Like Russia will also be here in Spain. The same ideas that they are going to take away the kingdom halls. They're just afraid that without protecting the honor, they will take the kingdom halls.
Do you have any final thoughts?
Hi, those who have the willpower, those who have the courage to organize themselves, I urge you. We've been talking to people like this for a few weeks, and we encourage everyone to organize, but legally, to ask for help, not only in form of a lawyer, but with the help from the media, collaborations with psychologists, with other associations that are perhaps more powerful in the country, that also deals with sectarian issues that are coercive, and others. Because of all this, at the end will become an international level one day, if this is going as I hope one day. Cheer up, friends, that the journey is going to be a long journey, but it can be achieved. We have the trial next week on Tuesday, the second day on December the 1st, the third one on December the 15th, the fourth one on the last day. The party is going to be great. From the 15th, we can inform you about how the 3 days of the trial have gone. We can speak more clearly. Maybe we can tell a little bit more about what is happening. And honestly, I think it will be good for you to see that here there is no fear. Even if it's a powerful entity, an entity with lots of money, you should not be afraid of them. You have to tell the truth. Do not go with lies that I always tell I always tell the sympathizers that we should not go with lies against the Watchtower or against any other group. I agree that we have to go with the truth, with what has happened to us, and tell it. The idea is always to show the truth to people in the public opinion, what has happened to us, so that they know the problems that are happening. And it's not just a matter of blood here. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than just an ideology. Is the freedom to the victims. Well, friends, we finished a while ago and everything has been very good. We can say if we were talking about goals, we hit a huge amount of goals. But the highlights has really been to listen to all the declarations from David, Fernando, Victor, and Patricia, with the eagerness and the desire they had and the conviction of the words. And in the case of Victor, he has been able to answer the opposite party, the lawyer of the Jehovah's Witnesses. They asked him from the Watchtower and the Awake with all the articles, but he managed to answer back from the book of the elders, the shepherd of the flock of God. It has hit them very hard, but they are representing all the victims. I would have liked you to listen to them. They have done it with the intention of representing all the victims and thousands more victims that there are. Everything has been well proven from outside. Let's hope that all this works. The only thing we have is another day. December 15 was our last day, but which was going to be the last day. Now it's going to be January the 30th, which is going to be the last day of this trial. That there are going to be more declarations, but I don't remember right now who they will be at the moment. But everything is well organized for the trial to go ahead. And we will have to be attentive because this group has to go ahead. We will prepare a meeting to be able to talk about our projects and to see the statement of the association accounts. My regards to all and thanks for all the support that we have received.